ChatGPT can write better sales emails, pitches, and replies than half your team. You just have to stop treating it like a vending machine and start using it like a tool that works for you. Here's how to prompt ChatGPT so it acts like your top-performing sales rep, not a clueless intern. Step 1. Understand why prompts matter. Most people use ChatGPT completely wrong. They type something lazy like, "Write me a follow-up email," and get exactly what they deserve: bland, forgettable replies. ChatGPT is not magic. It doesn't read your mind. It reflects the quality of your input. The difference between a prompt that wins deals and one that goes straight to trash is all about the way you write it. Step 2. Learn the 6-part formula. There's a simple formula behind the best prompts. Once you learn it, you can turn ChatGPT into a content machine that thinks, writes, and sells like a pro. The formula has 6 parts: task, context, examples, persona, format, and tone. Once you understand these, you'll never go back to guessing. Step 3. Start with the task. This is where you clearly tell ChatGPT what to do. You have to be specific. A strong task includes an action, a quantity, a goal, and one key detail. For example, instead of saying, "Write a follow-up," you'd say, "Write 3 follow-up emails to re-engage leads who didn't respond after a demo, focusing on how our software saves them time." You're giving it a job, a number of results, a purpose, and something to focus on. That gives you responses that are actually useful. Step 4. Add the right context. If you don't give ChatGPT a background, it'll just make things up. Context includes your customer pain points, where they are in the sales process, what objections they usually have, and what makes your product different. You can even mention how you compare to your competitors. The more relevant detail you give, the better the output. Keep a document with this kind of reusable context so you don't have to write it from scratch every time. Step 5. Provide exemplars. Exemplars are powerful and very underused. If you already have a sales email that worked well, drop it into the prompt and say, "Use a similar style to this." It sets a tone and gives ChatGPT a model to follow. Even one strong exemplar can improve the response dramatically. Without exemplars, the AI just guesses. With them, it starts to sound like you. Step 6. Inject a persona. This is where you tell ChatGPT who it should act like. You can say, "Speak as a senior sales rep with 10 years of experience," or "Write like a SaaS account executive who consistently hits quota." This gives the language confidence, credibility, and the right level of authority. When you skip this, the tone can end up too generic or too stiff. Add a persona, and the responses suddenly sound human and sharp. Step 7. Specify format and tone. Format is the shape of the response. You might say, "Write a 5-part email sequence with subject lines," or "Create a bullet point sales pitch for a cold call." You're giving structure so ChatGPT knows how to present the message. Then add tone, which is the feel. Maybe you want something friendly but confident, or high energy and direct, or calm and advisory. If you don't specify this, ChatGPT will guess, and it usually guesses wrong. Step 8. Combine into a full prompt. Once you have all 6 parts, task, context, examples, persona, format, tone, combine them into one full prompt. Here's an example of what that might look like. Write 5 ad headlines for a CRM that helps real estate agents manage listings and follow-ups. Here's an exemplar. Never miss a hot lead again. Write in the voice of a SaaS marketing manager. Format as 1-sentence headlines. Tone should be high energy, benefit-driven, and easy to scan. That prompt gives everything ChatGPT needs to succeed. Step 9. Reuse with templates. Don't just write one-off prompts. build templates. You can create a master prompt where you just swap in the product name, customer pain point, offer, or audience. You keep the structure the same, but change out the details based on what you're working on. This lets you scale your content creation fast without sacrificing quality. It also keeps your messaging consistent across teams. Step 10. Optimize through testing. Testing is what turns good into great. Try making 3 or 4 small prompt variations. Change only one thing at a time, like the tone, the persona, or the format. Keep the rest the same. Then run those versions and compare how they perform. If you're sending emails, track open rates, replies, clicks, and even conversion if possible. Then use what works and drop what doesn't. This is how you turn prompting into a real system, not just guessing with AI. Step 11. Avoid common prompting mistakes. First, don't assume ChatGPT knows your brand. If you want your voice or strategy reflected, you need to say so. Second, don't overload it with irrelevant info. Dropping your full company brand guide into the prompt will just confuse the system. Third, never forget to define a persona. Without it, you get that bland, middle-of-the-road language that nobody remembers. Finally, when you find prompts that work well, save them. Build a library organized by funnel stage, audience type, or content goal. This becomes your go-to resource that grows over time and actually gets smarter with use. Step 12. Treat ChatGPT like a sales rep. Once you start doing all this, ChatGPT becomes something else entirely. It's not just a writing tool, it becomes a real extension of your sales team. And no, it's not here to take anyone's job. Think of it more like an assistant that takes care of the boring work, so your team can focus on actual conversations and closing deals. You can use it to draft proposals, write social posts, create outbound sequences, handle call summaries, prep responses to objections, and even fine-tune messaging on the fly. With the newer updates to GPT models, you can even feed it internal notes and docs and get fast answers, summaries, and insights. Just by saving 20 or 30% of your team's writing time, you're buying back dozens or even hundreds of hours. That's time they can spend building relationships and moving deals forward. And when ChatGPT helps you test, tweak, and scale your messaging without the overhead, you start to outperform teams that are still stuck doing it the hard way. Could ChatGPT help you make more sales? Let me know your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and comment for future videos.